What's good, Brotherhood podcast? Bring you a special episode with the captain of the ship, Coach Jon Scheyer, to check in before the season starts. Obviously, I know the first exhibition is this week, so appreciate you coming on.
Well, it's an honor. I feel like the podcast game has just been elevated this year.
Appreciate it.
Not going to name names, but I'm not going to name names. But it's great to be with you, big guy.
Yeah, appreciate it. So let's dive right into it. Current team. How you think we're doing overall, Coach?
Well, you know what? I've you know this, man. I've loved working with you guys every day. Mm-hmm. We've had so much new. I mean, you and Tyrese, the two returners, obviously Stanley, Spencer, and Neil as well. But I think it's been a breath of fresh air from the guys that have come in. I think all you guys have worked incredibly hard. I think we've come together organically. We've got a long way to go, as you know, every day, the things we're talking about on the offensive and defensive end.
For sure.
But I just love the attitudes. I love the approach. I love the hunger. And that can't change, as you know.
Yep.
I don't want to turn this session into where I'm lecturing you the whole time. I'm going to do my best where I'm not just telling you everything we need to do.
Nah, it's all good. How do you feel our offense is coming along? I know we trying to implement, like, after we get stuck and everything. So
how do you feel our offense is coming along?
I think it's improving each and every day. I mean, we obviously got a long way to go, but as far as, like, moving the ball, getting the paint touches, and just diving into our principles that you teach every day, I feel like all the guys have been learning, and we've been implementing it as soon as we play. So it's been great.
Well, you know what? I think you guys have done a great job of picking things up, and where we haven't had, I've never wanted to have the structure where every time down we're calling a play or you have to run a set. That's not how I was taught here as a player under Coach K. That's not how I ever want to coach the game or teach the game as a coach. And so a lot of it, you have to go through some rough patches because it's not where I'm just telling you what to do. It's making a read based on how the defense plays you. And I think you guys have really, especially over the last week or two, I think, picked it up more. Like I'm going to say it one more time. This is my last time saying it. We got a long way to go. Yeah. But I think the strides we've made in the preseason has been huge with knowing how to play with each other, attacking reads, and really being aggressive, getting downhill. And then, obviously, that's where you got to follow your instincts from there with what to do.
Yep. So let's flip it to the defensive end. Can you talk about the defensive scheme you're hoping to see from us?
Yeah, I see you be a monster on that end of the floor. That's what I want to see. I realize that this is a great chance to just hold your feet to the fire. You're in the hot seat right now. Yeah. I can tell everybody all the things that me and you have talked about privately that we got to do. Sure. You know what? I want us to just be relentless on the defensive end, right? And we've talked about that, and really have an emphasis for protecting our paint and not giving up second chance points and dominating the boards are a huge key, okay? And I get to say this. I love that I get to say this with everybody. Is our guard rebounding.
Yep.
How often have we talked about that?
Every day.
Start of our break, right?
Day, yep.
We got big guards, okay? Have we decided if you're the
6'5", I'm your height.
Okay.
You don't want to give it to me.
We can stand up if you want and see who's taller. But you're 6'5", so you should be a monster on the boards, our guards, and let's go then. Let's
push and break. Yep.
That's right.
So what do you see as our biggest strength?
I think our biggest strength is our versatility, our toughness, and our unselfishness as a team. I think that's something you either have organically or you don't. Feel we have a group that has it. And, for us, we have to get to know each other better and play to strengths and all that. But to me, that's our biggest strength. Forget the skill set or the offense. You guys, man, I think there's a connection there. The way you guys have pushed each other.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have on offense multiple playmakers, multiple guys that can pass, shoot, and dribble. But then on defense, we have a team that can guard a lot of different positions, which is an advantage if you use it the right way and have the same mindset. Yeah. What would you say? What would you say is our biggest strength?
I would say it should be on the defensive end because we're so long. We got big fella in the middle to protect the rim. We all like 6'5" and above, pretty big, strong, like 200. Everybody's probably like 185. So we should just use that, like being physical and stuff like that. I think that's and being wide, like Coach K said, and you emphasize every day. And it's just gonna be hard to score on us because even when I'm playing and everybody's arms is out, it's like it's clogged and you can't really, you know what I'm saying, you can't really see. It's just disturbing, you know.
Right.
And if we just do that, I mean, and compete like we've been competing, I mean, sky's the limit.
It's a big difference if we do that.
Yeah, can you share your biggest surprise, if any, with our group?
My biggest surprise has just been how quickly I have felt a deep connection with you guys as a team. And I think that's the biggest concern probably of any coach now, but especially I think for me going into the offseason this year was how to gain that connectivity as quickly as possible because we have of our scholarship players, 10 of 12 have never worn a Duke uniform before.
Yep.
So that's not just naturally you don't know each other. And to see the way you guys have embraced each other, bonded, doesn't mean you have to be best friends with everybody off the court, but I think you guys genuinely are close.
Yep.
And then on the court, man, you guys push each other. There's the camaraderie. Not that it's a surprise because we went through, I mean, I had a ton of conversations with all you guys, you know, this spring about my expectations, what I thought our team could be. But to see it happen as quickly as it has and as organically as it has, I think it's a credit to all you guys individually. I think it shows security on your parts. And then I think it also shows just the character of wanting to be a part of something, man.
Yeah.
Where it's bigger than you. It's you want to win. You want to become the best version of yourself and the team. I just have loved that. And I was hopeful that could happen, but you don't necessarily know until you get in it. And are you guys putting on a show, or is that for real?
Nah.
I know it's for real.
I think it's for real.
It is.
You always talk about how, like, I mean, this is the only time we only got one time to do this with this team because the landscape of college basketball is so different. Like, you're pretty much not gonna be. You're never gonna have the same team. So, I think that's something that we've dove into as far as like this is our only opportunity. You know, we got to take day by day and get better. So I think we've been doing that, and if we just keep doing that, like I said earlier, the sky's the limit.
No question.
Do you see any similarities between this team and past Duke teams?
I haven't thought of that as much, you know, and I think time will tell. I have loved the start. I think it reminds me of some of the most competitive teams we've had. I think we've shown great competitiveness thus far. We got to do it when the lights come on. We have to do it in game, but not yet. Maybe as we
come back to
as we progress, and if you invite me on the show, you know, a later date,
You're always welcome.
maybe I'll have a comparison for you.
Yeah. All right,
Ryan Young only invited me one time. I just want to be clear.
Okay, all
Okay.
right.
I think
I'm
it was
gonna
like
beat
a
that.
sympathy invite. I just want you to know. So this is you're already ahead of the game.
Yes, sir.
Than where Ryan was at.
All right, let's flip it to the schedule. Can you walk us through our game schedule this year? It's kind of very ambitious early.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you this. One, I think it's we put the schedule together with the mindset of how to become our best. End of the day, how can we become the best version of who we want to be as a team by the end of the season? And now, with that said, you got to earn your way to play into a postseason, whatever postseason that is. It's the ACC tournament now. You have to play your way into the NCAA tournament. Obviously, you have to play your way and win your way into that tournament. But for us to be tested and to play a different kind of schedule in the non-conference was really important to me and to our staff. And I think and then the second thing is, that's what you guys want.
Yeah, exactly.
It's part of the reason you come to Duke is to play in games that nobody else plays in and to play big-time teams and big-time environments. And so for us, you know, obviously we dive into it very quickly and let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. Couldn't be more excited. We have a group that I want to see us in different environments. And so for us, we play a lot away from home. And I also want us, when we're home, to play and represent the amazing fans. And Cameron Indoor Stadium is the best place to play in college basketball, where it needs to be the most difficult place to play, which it's been difficult, but it can be even more difficult.
Yeah, we could use that to our advantage.
And that's what we're going to do this year.
Yeah. Can you talk to us more about the Arizona State exhibition game and how it came together and the collaboration with the Duke Children's Hospital?
Yeah. So with that, I'm not sure I can even explain how hard it is to anticipate what you're allowed to do in preseason games. We thought initially you could. I'm not going to go through the whole background, but we didn't know what you could or couldn't do. Known Bobby Hurley, known for a long time, obviously. Look, he's got 2 chips, first 2 chips ever here. He was the point guard on, right? And so Bobby and I connected in the spring. He actually reached out, and the fact he's never been back to Cameron.
Yeah.
And we were looking to play a big-time opponent for an exhibition game to get a feel for what it's going to be like. We talked about our non-conference schedule right away. And so that opportunity came about. It's really 3 factors. One is for us to play a really good team in an exhibition game, which is great. The second thing is you get to play a really good team in front of a crowd.
Yep.
And then we get to do it in front of our crowd. Amazing. And then the third thing is it's also a way to honor somebody who's given a ton towards our program.
Yeah.
I mean, the blood, sweat, and tears with Bobby Hurley, man, as good of a competitor, all-time leader in assists, in NCAA tournament, in NCAA history, not tournament, NCAA history.
That's crazy.
And then obviously he's got 2 chips, and what he's done, it's a special thing. So that's why we call it the Brotherhood run. Part of the Brotherhood is competing. So I know Bobby's coming in to, go after us, and we're trying to do the same. But that's how it should be, and it'll be a great test for us, and great way to honor the Duke Children's Hospital as well.
For sure. I'm so excited for that. What's your overall thought process on scheduling going forward?
Keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're gonna look for unique ways to play in different environments, away from Cameron and at Cameron, where we're playing big time opponents.
Yeah.
I think that's the way. The landscape has changed too. More conference teams, so you don't play everybody. You only play 2 teams. You only play 3 teams twice in our league. So everybody we play in our league this year, for the most part, you get 1 shot at them.
Yeah.
And so those games are really important, but you also have it's different than when I played, for example. You're playing mostly everybody twice. It's just totally different, right? The non-conference schedule, even the conference schedule, we're playing ACC games at least twice in December now. And so this is the first time in, I want to say it's, if I can do my math right, it's the first time in 30 years that we have 3 road games before Christmas.
Yeah.
3 road games before Christmas. And so that happens fast, but I think for us to be in those environments that early in the season, we'll learn a ton about ourselves, to be tested, to play away from home. Ultimately, you have to win games away from home.
Yeah.
You have to win games in March. You have to win games in February away from home. And so I love that, and we're not going to back away from that.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to be in every environment possible going into ACC play. So I think we'll be prepared, ready. We'll know exactly what we need to do to be the best team we need to be. So let's flip the script to recruiting. Can't name names on here as far as who we recruit, but talk about your recruiting philosophy in general.
My recruiting philosophy has, I think, changed somewhat. The last couple of years. There's always, I think Coach K would always say this, and it's true. Even in my time as an assistant coach with him, there's different iterations in terms of strategies and how you recruit. And look, everybody that's listening to this right now, I think they're well aware of all the changes in college athletics with the transfer portal, with NIL, and do we have to go on a deep dive, or can I? Okay, but obviously there's a lot that has changed, and so, but the thing that hasn't changed is identifying the right people for Duke.
Yeah.
And so for me, that's something I've prided myself on. Our staff prides itself on, is really identifying great talent with great character and competitiveness. And one thing to succeed here, you need to have great feel for the game as well, because it's not going to be in a structured system where you're just running a play or you don't have to think. We give a lot of freedom where you have to make reads on the fly and think the game. And so to me, the identity of what we're looking for has not changed at all. I think really looking for, in this day and age, even more so, finding guys that are have dealt with adversity, have experience where they've gone knocked back or some hardships, or because I mean, unfortunately, you go through some stuff your freshman year.
Yeah.
Whether it's not playing as much, it's hurt, it's your injury is a great example.
Yeah.
That's not something me or you talked about in the recruiting process
No,
or
not
expected or wanted, but you go through it, and then how do you respond to it?
Exactly.
And I think that's what so much this is about. And so we're going to continue to identify the right guys and then have that mix of, returning players are key for our program.
Mm-hmm.
Like you and Tyrese coming back that's key.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been through, even in 1 year, we've been through a lot together.
Yeah.
And so it strengthens the bond. The experience is important. And that's something that, as much as the recruiting philosophy for high school is critical and important, it's just as important with guys like you and Tyrese and the future of our program to figure out ways to continue to have that retention and to build. And then, the transfer portal for us will be something we look at, but it's not going to be ever the main thing we plan on doing.
Yeah.
That's we by the way, we're fortunate to get the guys we got this year.
For sure.
Sion and Mason and Malik and and Kim, what he's brought, but I don't know if it's going to be like that every year.
Yeah.
Sion and Mason, they're not going to be in the portal next year. They're out of eligibility. Guys like that, there's no COVID year anymore. So even that's changing. So anyway, am I going to?
No,
I hope I'm not going off on a tangent.
I just wanted to let you know
All
you did a phenomenal job recruiting, putting together a team, and I'm so happy to play with the guys that we have. So let's change it to the state of the game, state of college basketball. If you could change two things about the state of college basketball, what would it be?
The first one is the way the game is played. I think is important for our product and for the actual game to continue to advance to be as close to the NBA as possible.
Yeah.
It's the best thing for you guys in your development, but it's also the best thing for the fans. And so if it's the best thing for the players and it's the best thing for the fans and the growth of our game, then why wouldn't we do that? And the rules I'm talking about, we should have a 24-second shot clock. We should play quarters, should advance the ball. We shouldn't have 3-second defense. That's the NBA.
Yeah.
But besides that, every other professional league or any high-level basketball, if you watch the Olympics, it's 24-second shot clock.
Yeah.
We should be preparing you guys for that. In the summer, we play all preseason. We play with a 24-second shot clock.
Yeah.
Because that's part of the mindset that I want you guys to develop. But it's the future of the game, and so that's for me number one. I think that's most important.
Yeah.
Number two, I could give you a lot for number two. I'm just going to give you number one for right now. All right. I think that's number one is worth number one and number two together. All right.
Okay. What is something you love about college basketball that might be misunderstood or not get enough attention?
For me, it's the process. And I think comes with the territory of wearing this or wearing what you have on the Brotherhood logo, the Duke logo. It's a very hot and cold world, and that's great because you have people that are really passionate about your success of the program, and you're viewed a lot, which is amazing. But it can be very hot and cold. What I love the most is the process. I think that's what college basketball is about. Not coming in fully ready, learning, and then like you, where all of a sudden, all right, you had nobody. I don't think you could try to explain what it felt like to everybody that's listening right now, what it felt like to be sitting on the sidelines in an Elite Eight game, in a boot, not being able to play. There's no way anybody could, right?
Yeah.
And so that determination, then the work ethic that you have, the ability to either say, okay, I'm going to look myself in the mirror and think about what I can do to be more ready to be in this situation next year, what I would give. Or you can make excuses, you can point the finger. And so you've done the first thing of wanting just to get better. So as you go now this year, you're going to have a killer year. and build off what you. And you had a really good freshman year.
Yeah.
But it's the process of how you grow, and I think so much now we get caught up into the expectation for immediate success.
Yeah.
And very rarely, if ever, does that happen. And I think that's the thing I would just like the college basketball world to appreciate those stories.
Yeah.
Because they're happening in our program. I think it's happening with you right now.
Yeah.
And that's that to me is what it's all about.
Yes, sir. What is your take on the conference realignment and where Duke stands?
I'm done guessing where conference realignment is or isn't, or where it's going. I do know we had 3 good basketball teams this year, and we'll play. Now with having the ACC SEC challenge, we'll play in environments I've never been to, which is great. But I've never been to SMU, Cal, Stanford, not for a game at least. And so to be in different environments, I think will be great. Clearly, over the next how many ever years, it's going to continue to change and grow and all that. All I know is I'm going to control what I can control.
Yeah.
I want everybody in our program to control what we can control. And look, Duke basketball is like a football program in terms of the viewership, the marketing value. Our team has done an amazing job of gathering information, looking at how we're viewed in the billions of minutes, talking billions of minutes that you guys have been on TV, over the past couple of seasons. It's crazy. And so for me, we focus on our success and what we're doing, and we'll be in a great position with ACC and everything going forward.
Yeah, okay. Flip to the NBA. NBA season starting in about a week. Right now we have 25 players in the league right now, 3 GMs, Blue Devils all over the league. Who are you most excited to watch and follow during the season? Celtics.
You're trying to get me in trouble. Well, you're trying to get me in trouble because as soon as I say,
guy's a huge Celtics
like
fan.
I know Trey Jones is going to be listening to this. And if I don't say the Spurs, I know he's going to text me and say, man, you never say the Spurs. So Trey, I'm going to watch the Spurs. All right. I'll be all over you guys the whole year. All right. And, I think obviously seeing if the Celtics repeat, cool thing to me is Phoenix, still have former teammate of mine still going, Mason Plumlee. Obviously we got Grayson there, we got Tyus there. So the Suns got Devin Booker. I think Devin Booker. All right, your guy.
KD,
yeah. So to me, and I still live vicariously through KD and Steph. That's my class still.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna feel really old when those guys hang it up. And so Steph and KD in particular. Russ. Thaddeus Young has been, he's been, Team Thad.
Yeah.
He's been, so the 2006 high school class, for me, I've been proud of those guys. But to say 25 guys is incredible.
Yeah. It is.
Obviously, Derek following up on year 2. Think about Derek is now healthy and back and, want him to take the next step. Seeing our rookies.
Yeah.
Jared and Flip. Wendell Carter just got an extension, and the Magic and Paulo. I could go. We can do a whole episode based on the NBA guys.
Yeah, I'm excited for sure. I can't wait.
Who do you have?
Wait, winning it all?
No, just like who are you excited to watch?
I'm excited to watch Jared. Obviously, Flip. My teammates. This was like the first time I'm gonna actually have like teammates I played with in the NBA. So
right.
I'm definitely gonna be watching. I've been tuned into Jared so far.
How do you think Jared's done so far? That's critique, Jared.
There's. He's been. I just like how aggressive he is. He's not shying away. He's going at Derek White. I'm excited for him. I can't wait to.
Well, when have you ever known him to shy away?
I haven't. Yeah. But I just like that.
I don't know if I'll do it for the episode, but I mean, we can talk about things he can do better, though, right? Can we not?
Yeah. I mean, it's obvious. You could do that with everybody.
All right. Fair enough. You see, you're always defending your guy.
What's been the key to the growth of Duke's strong presence in the NBA, on and off the court?
I think I think it all goes hand in hand with starting the recruiting process of recruiting people, not players, but people that are hungry, that love the game, that always want to continue to get better. And to see so many guys that have left our program and continue to get better and be set up for success. You know, the NBA is cutthroat, man.
Yeah.
It's the hardest professional job you can have. There's only 450 players, give or take, and there's thousands and thousands of really good players in the world. So it's cutthroat, you know, and to be able to have the All-Stars and by the way, speaking of All-Stars, how about New Orleans still?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Zion, you know, looking better than ever.
Yeah.
B.I.
Yeah.
B.I. to me had one of the most underrated freshman seasons here. Not freshman seasons here, period. One of the most underrated seasons. He just did everything for us.
You were here, Coach?
Yeah, I was here. Yeah, that was my first year ever. Was one of the most underrated. Period. Jabari Parker's freshman year.
Yeah.
You know, Jabari, to me, started. It was a domino effect. You know, it's after I left, Kyrie came in, and then Austin came in. Those two guys, obviously, Kyrie number one and what he did. Austin, top 10 pick. But to me, Jabari was different because Jabari had just such a respect to his game and just who he was as a person. I thought that was the start of something with the recruiting that we had. With all of a sudden, Jabari came, and then the following year is, you know, Tyus, Grayson, Justice, and Ja. Like I said, after that year, that's when B.I. came in. And Brandon, we were a little bit undermanned that year and beat up. And Brandon was guarding everybody. He's guarding bigs at, you know, weighing 100 and whatever pounds. And just tough as could be, skilled as could be. But I give credit to Jabari for really making it a cool thing to come to Duke again, you know, and not that it wasn't cool for me to be here or, you know, Kyrie, obviously, but I think Jabari had a lot to do with that.
Yeah, yeah. What advice would you give someone like me, not only with dreams of playing in the NBA someday, but dreams of someday would like to work or coach around the league when the ball starts bouncing?
You know, it's funny, for me, I always wanted to coach, but I really wanted to play. You know, I thought coaching would be after playing a long time in the NBA.
Yeah.
And you don't know ever when your time is going to come. I'm thankful it was early because now I get to be here with you, and you know, I can still get out there a little bit. A little bit. But I think the biggest thing is there's levels to this, right? Like of how you can learn the game, and there's no way at how old are you? You're
20.
You're 20 years old, okay? And there's no way at 20 years old you can max out of your knowledge of the game. There's always something to learn. There's always a skill to add. And I think the more you look at how to get to the top level in terms of thinking the game, it sets you up for coaching. And the other thing that's really helped me is embracing the different situations I've been in. You know, I've been a role player. I've been the leading scorer. I've come off the bench. I've started. I've not played. And really, everybody in the world except maybe 1% of players experiences all those things.
Yeah.
And so the more you can embrace those experiences, know how it felt in that moment, I think you're better prepared to coach everybody because as a coach, you're experiencing all that all the time with the team.
Yeah.
So, but for you, I'd focus on playing. Being the best guard you can be for Duke basketball right now.
Yeah,
that's what I want you thinking about.
Can you talk about Jayson Tatum with all the success he had? Did you envision this when you were recruiting him?
Well, he was a soft ass kid from St. Louis, so coach. No, you know, my first recruiting trip ever was. I was able to go on the road as a special assistant. You could only have 3 coaches on the road at that time. Coach K was with the USA team, so I was able to go out on the road, and they sent me to watch Luke Kennard, and they said there may be this young kid there to check out named Jayson Tatum. And as I was walking to court 3 to see Luke on court 1, this place I was at, Jayson's game was just started, and I knew it was my first time ever watching a game as a coach, but it took me about 3 possessions. I was, all right, this kid belongs at Duke.
Yeah.
And the thing that's always separated him and very few guys that I've coached, but it's really two things. One, he's always loved it, like just pure love for the game, and so because of the love, he's worked at it. But then the second thing is he's really had an inner belief in himself, and that's come out as a rookie with the Celtics. That came out with us after he was hurt at the beginning of his freshman season. I always knew he'd be special, and thought he's the number one pick and all that. Should have been. But to see what he's done, I mean, he's even taken big jumps where he's as good as anybody in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know if you ever think that.
It took 3 possessions to know. So what did he do in those 3 possessions for the fans that want to know?
He took the ball, rebounded, took the ball coast to coast, and Euro stepped and 15 and laid the ball in. So
How old was he?
He was 15 years old.
Oh,
he was literally going into his sophomore year. I mean, he weighed about 150 pounds. But he just seeing him move, how fluid he was.
Yeah.
And then he caught the ball in the post. And did one of his step back, just shots, which again became here we get on him all the time for settling. Tell him to go to the rim. But just to see him shoot, handle, his feel, it's like, all right, what else do you need? What else do you need to see? I hear his mom yelling at him in the crowd, saying a rebound. So I'm like, all right, parents are tough on him. Loves the game, fluid.
Good basketball player.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
This is easy.
Yeah. 2 guys I wanted to ask about, D-Live and Jared. They both improved in their own way. As much as anyone in basketball over the past year or more, what do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
They're tough, man. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, are you tough or are you not? I'm talking mental toughness. Derek, look, when I became a head coach, Derek was the first guy I ever offered. Derek just still so young in the game in terms of his development, skill set and all that. He's going to be doing so much more over the next few years, but he's just tough. And both of them I just think are winners. Playing with Jared, he scored a lot, but that wasn't what he set out to do. His thing was about competing. And same thing with Derek. I mean, ultimate teammate, tough. And so I think if you're about the right things and you're willing to do tough things, you're gonna become a lot better.
Yeah. NBA conference winners predictions and the finals champ. Who you got?
So you're trying to get me in trouble again. That's what you're trying to do. Okay, so because I'm gonna get somebody mad.
Yeah.
Derek's gonna be mad. Tyus is gonna be mad. Somebody, because I do have the Celtics going. I think they're at the highest level of anybody. Where you asked me for what, conference?
Both conference and East and West, and then the finals.
Right. Okay, Celtics, and look, I've thought about the Suns. I think they got something special.
Yeah,
how do you feel about that?
I got the Suns.
You got the Suns. So I got the Suns. The Mavs. I think they've made some really good moves, and Derek in year 2. You're making me give. I have to give you one.
You got to get who you got winning.
Yeah, I got. I actually have. I got the Suns.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the Suns over Dallas. Both. I could go either way. Derek, it's my guy, my guy. But I think the Suns can
win it all.
I think so. I think they got.
So you got the Suns over Celtics too?
No.
Oh.
I got the Celtics. But Tyus, come on, you guys gotta win some. I gotta see you guys together a little bit, But I think they can put something together.
I like that matchup. So let's move into fan questions. David Bannock, as a former Duke player yourself, what advice would you give to the guys when it comes to not getting caught up in preseason rankings and polls?
Well, what do I say to you guys? We talk about it all the time.
It means nothing.
It means nothing. It just whatever we were last year.
You start at 1 and end up off the board.
It doesn't matter. I think last 2 times we won the chip, I know we weren't ranked number 1 preseason.
Yeah.
I don't know where we were, but I know it wasn't 1. So what does it matter?
Yeah.
But it's a big thing because you hear it, you see it, people talk to you about it, and you have to really do a good job of blocking it out. And so Do I talk about it enough to you guys?
Yeah, you let us know all the time. Blue Devil Junkie says the biggest takeaway or lesson learned from playing overseas.
Just how many good players there are. You get overseas quickly, and there's guys you never heard of that can ball.
Yeah.
There are so many good players, and the philosophy and their styles of coaching, it's very advanced. Just the defensive rotations, the offensive concepts. We do a bunch of them. I always study EuroLeague, and in the off season, that's something I do every off season. I had one of our guys, Trevor Marcus, on staff.
Yeah.
He watched almost every EuroLeague team with offense, and we picked and pulled things we liked, things that were good for our personnel. But to me, it's those two things.
Yep. Brian Jones said, "What was it like to score one-on-one matchup? What was the score to the one-on-one matchup versus Jayson Tatum, and will there be a rematch?"
I'm glad you asked. That's a great question. Who asked that question?
Brian Jones.
It's a great question by Brian. So I want to be clear. I didn't just beat Jayson. I beat Amile Jefferson, too.
Oh, okay.
It was a one-on-one game.
Oh, you beat both of them.
I beat both of them. I just want to be very clear. I want to get the record straight. I beat both of them. And it was game to 5. And we played from their sweet spot, too. It was like mid-post, right elbow. Yeah. And here's the problem. Nobody knows their moves better than I do.
Yeah.
So I just had to get a couple stops, and I had to pray I could score. And I did. I think it was 5. Amile had 1 or 2. He just had 1 or 2. And Jayson had 3.
Yeah.
So I think it was 5-3-1
Okay.
was the final. And by the way, if
No rematch?
hold on. You can ask them the score if you want confirmation.
Oh, okay. So
you can ask either of them the score, okay? And there absolutely is a rematch.
Yeah.
Okay? And I'm willing, I'll say it publicly.
Okay.
I'm willing to have the whole thing televised.
Oh, okay.
Televise the whole thing. All right? And it can be a
gonna be
pay-per-view, whatever you want. Rematch can happen anytime that Jayson or Amile aren't afraid to lose to me again.
Okay. Damn. Y'all gotta let him. Y'all gotta get that rematch. Mike, we could talk about our 1v1. He tried to. Remember that?
We're gonna bring this up now.
Yeah. Since you want to do that, I'm gonna got Jayson and Mill back. Yeah, he tried to 1v1 me. It didn't go too well, but we won't talk about that. Michael Uyghur said, "What changes have you tried to make in the preseason versus the last 2 years?"
I think the biggest change for us has been how much we've done as a team right away, because we've had so much new, and you're not afforded the time to put in a defensive system, offensive system like we maybe had in the past. And so for us, we hit the ground running this summer with what we were doing as a team. Obviously, you're still doing individual skill and building that up, but that's been the biggest difference for this summer.
For sure. Noel Foster said, "A favorite non-basketball thing."
Wait,
you
who?
Did Noel Foster.
Do you know this person?
No.
All right, just
Family
didn't know
though,
if it's
family.
a cousin or
Favorite non-basketball thing you did this offseason?
favorite non-basketball thing. For me, if it's non-basketball, it's my kids. It's going to my daughter's gymnastics or basketball or soccer or it's time with my kids.
Yeah.
And my wife. I should have.
Don't
That's
get in trouble.
make sure that's in there. My wife. All right. That's
Josh H79. What has been the biggest lesson you learned so far as a head coach?
well. I could go on and on about this, but I think the biggest thing. When you get in it, when you really get in it for the first time, you either feel, man, I can do this, or you can't do it. And I feel very confident in my ability, but also the ability of everybody around me. We have an amazing staff, amazing group of players, and just think you have to really trust yourself and follow your instincts. There's no one way to do something. You see all the great coaches, any different sport, there's lots of different ways to get it done. I think the game has changed so rapidly the last couple of years too, so it's forced any coach to have to adapt and change, whether it's recruiting philosophy, coaching philosophy, style of play, and you really you have to follow your beliefs. You have to follow your instincts. And for me, that's by far the biggest thing I've learned in this.
Yeah. Last question. If you could go back and give your freshman year Jon Scheyer one piece of advice, what would it be?
hang in there. Hang in there. You know, that was my freshman year was a tough one, you know, and I wish I could tell myself, it's what I tell you guys, just to remind yourself this is a blessing you chose this.
Yeah.
You know, because it's incredibly hard, it's incredibly taxing and challenging, and just to remind yourself, I would remind myself at that age, man, you chose this. What a blessing to be here. You know, I never thought I'd be the old guy. I never thought I'd be the guy that hasn't played for 10 years and all that. You feel like you're going to play forever.
Yeah.
And the moments you have at Duke, I'd be curious to even ask our guys in the NBA right now. I think they'd say, as good of a year they've had or years, is their time here? And I would say the same for me.
Yeah. All right, let's get into quick hitters. Prediction for World Series champ in baseball.
I have the Dodgers over the Yankees.
Dodgers over the Yankees. I don't really know too much about baseball.
That's yeah.
How many games will the Bears win this season?
The Bears are going to win 12 games in the regular season.
12.
And then they're going to win 3 in the playoffs.
Okay. I like Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Why are people in this room laughing when I said that?
I mean, the Bears really not.
Come on, man.
Who's winning the NFC North?
The Bears.
Favorite kicks to wear with Duke gear?
Air Force Ones.
Air Force Ones. Favorite kicks to hoop in?
Wow. I've been, you know, Kobe for me. I love the Kobe still. I would say Kobe.
Kobe. Most recent show or movie you watched?
My wife and I it's the first show we've watched in a long time. Nobody wants this.
Okay.
It's a good show.
Last song you listened to?
It's Post Malone.
Post Malone?
Yeah, Post Malone. He's got a new country album.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite part of practice?
My favorite part of practice? Seeing you guys play defense.
Yeah.
That's bubble rebounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just brought the bubble.
Yeah.
That was different.
We're going to keep bringing it out.
Yeah. All-time Duke in the NBA starting 5.
Oh, man. Pass.
Pass?
Pass.
Oh.
I got to think about it. I'm going to piss somebody off, and I want to think about it a little bit more.
Well, Brotherhood Podcast, that's all we got for today. I appreciate you, Coach, coming on.
No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.